Grey Zabel, guard, North Dakota State.
That's got to be a moment you remember for the rest of your life, and he's kind enough to join us now the morning after. Grey, good morning. How are we feeling today?
Man, I'm feeling blessed. What a surreal experience this past night was, and super excited to get out to Seattle.
I got to be honest, you don't sound like a guy who drank too many Busch Lights last night. What was the count for the evening? Because you sound pretty good.
Yeah, man, we had a lot of fun. I know we ran out about halfway through and had to make a quick trip, but we enjoyed ourselves last night. For sure.
A quick trip from the farm to the liquor store. How far is a trip like that when you're in South Dakota?
No, we're in town here at our house, so it was a short trip. Luckily, we weren't run out for too long.
So, did you know, Grey, before the call came or the name was announced? When did you know?
I knew when I got the call after they announced the Cincinnati Bengals, and all the way leading up to it, I had no idea. I was just praying. I was holding my breath because I knew Seattle was a place that could possibly be a landing spot for me, but I was holding my breath. And when I got that phone call from Washington, man, my heart started beating for sure.
What were you thinking as a lot of other offensive linemen were going? I mean, a lot of the picks, 12 of the 17 picks ahead of you were big people, either on the offensive or defensive line. Were you thinking that's good for you, not good for you? Like, what was your reaction as it was going down?
Man, I was excited for the guys that went before me. I mean, I got to meet a lot of them through this process, through the draft process, and I was super excited for Will, Armand, Calvin, Tyler, those guys. And I knew it was a good thing that teams were kind of prioritizing offensive linemen in the first round. So, but I was super fired up for those guys. And when I ended up getting that call on the 18th pick, man, it was all my dreams come true.
Did you know when you boarded the plane for Mobile, Alabama, how big the Senior Bowl week was going to be for you?
Not really. All I wanted to do is go down there and just compete and prove and be a tough football player. Other than that, I had no idea how it was all going to play out, but I'm grateful that Jim Nagy sent me an invite to go down there and be able to showcase what I have and the skill set that I have.
What did you feel like you showed that week?
And I thought I went down there. I think I showed my versatility, my hunger to be a good physical offensive lineman, and then my ability to kind of improve throughout the week. I mean, it was a little bit of a step kind of going up against guys like that, but at the end of the day, you come to realize, like, playing this game of football, everyone puts the shoulder pads on the same way and everyone wears a helmet. And if you're a good physical football player, you're going to have success. And that's what I just wanted to go down there and show.
I mean, you say that, but at the same time, I mean, the talent that you're seeing there is, with all apologies, a little bit, higher
bigger, faster,
end, a little bigger, faster, stronger than your average game at North Dakota State. So what did you notice as you were going up against some of those guys? Because that'll be the one question, right? How do you handle the jump to the next level here?
Yep. I noticed everything's just got to be a little more locked in. You just got to be more precise with everything you do. If that's your footwork, if that's your hand placement, all that. And then at the end of the day, I mean, football is a physical game, and you're going to have to be a physical football player. And I think that's what's going to might be the biggest jump, or might be the biggest issue that people struggle with, is the physicality. But when that's kind of one of your pillars of your foundation, it's going to be hopefully a good transition to the next level.
Grey, I think before you were born, I was a Seattle Seahawk, and I was in the Seattle Seahawks locker room. I remember this when the Seahawks drafted Steve Hutchinson in 2001. We heard a lot last night after the draft, a little bit from you and from John Schneider, the role that Hutch played in it, the Hall of Famer. Can you take us into some of those conversations and some of those meetings a little bit deeper?
Yeah, absolutely. Any time that you get a chance to talk with, one, an unbelievable person like Steve Hutchinson is, and two, an unbelievable player he is, you just want to try and soak up as much knowledge as you possibly can. I mean, being able to sit down and talk with him, talk about some football, and just kind of pick his brain a little bit about this game. It was a super unique experience. And I was fortunate enough, I got to meet him down in Mobile. I remember calling my parents afterwards saying, like, hey, I just talked to Steve Hutchinson. That's pretty sweet. But anytime you get to be around somebody like that, it's a cool experience. And hopefully I'm around him a little bit more and get to learn a lot from him here in the next few years.
Heard you talk a little bit last night about running outside zone and how it kind of came up more in your life last year after a lot of A-gap power to start your football career in college. Oh, Brock, you know me. You know me. Yeah, that's me, a big scheme guy. Yes. You'll find out over the years, maybe, Gray, or actually probably won't because you won't pay any attention, but I'm not a scheme guy, but I do the best I can. I know what that seems to be what Clint Kubiak wants to run a lot of. So how does your skill set marry with running a lot of outside zone?
Love it. I love it. I was fortunate enough. Coach Polsek came from Iowa, and he was a firm believer in outside zone this past year at North Dakota State. So being able to kind of translate that, and the biggest part is use your athletic ability to go and play ball and get out and run a little bit in outside zone. So I'm super excited to be a part of the Seahawks and the scheme that they do, and hopefully get to kind of continue to showcase what I have.
Are you still growing at all? Like, any chance, like, what was it, 6'6", 312, 3'4"? Like, could we see a bigger Grey Zabel at some point? Is there room to add weight?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in my college career, I'd always be on a little bit of the lighter side to be more quicker and agile and faster and stuff. But through this process, I mean, I was able to gain some weight because I knew I was going to have to play interior, so you got to be a little bit heavier. So, I mean, big thing about gaining weight is just steaks and squats. That's all you got to do to put on some pounds.
Steaks and squats.
Well, and you could go from Bush Light to Bud Heavy if you need to. I mean, that would, I think, help, right?
Yeah, exactly. A few extra carbs.
Okay, we just had a guest in with us.
Yeah.
He wanted to know from you, speaking of steaks, you open the door to meat right there. You get the choice of 3 things to order here in Seattle. When you come and visit and we get to meet you, three things are on the menu. You go on brisket, prime rib, or dino beef ribs?
Ooh, I'm going to go with prime rib. I love a good steak.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go prime rib for sure.
Okay.
How'd you end up going to North Dakota State? I mean, you grew up in Pierre, right? I just read this in the bio yesterday, but you grew up in Pierre. From everything I know, from the limited number of people I know from either Dakota, there's a lot of rivalry.
Like them bison.
How did that play? What led to all that?
Yeah. So I grew up in Pierre, South Dakota. Our farm is in north central South Dakota, about an hour and a half north. And once you start getting closer to North Dakota, they're starting to become more North Dakota State fans. So I was kind of around it growing up and got to see the dynasty start to take place starting in 2011. And I had an unbelievable position coach and recruiting coach that kind of showed me North Dakota State. I mean, when I went on my visit up there for junior day, Cordell Volson, who now plays for Cincinnati Bengals, showed me around the entire day. And he showed me kind of that big brother tough love. And I fell in love with it right away. And unbelievably grateful that North Dakota State gave me an opportunity. They saw something in me that most schools and bigger schools didn't see, and they developed me into who I am today. So I'm forever in debt to them. But yeah, there was a lot of pissed off peer people when I decided to go up north and not stay in state.
Yeah, get ready. It only happens more and more the further you move along.
Yeah.
Okay, I got like 4 quick rapid fire questions for you, Gray. All right, 4 quick ones.
Yep.
Do you hunt and fish?
Yeah.
Which do you enjoy more?
I'm going to go hunting more for sure.
Quail? What are we doing? Quail?
Pheasants, ducks, geese, deer.
Yep.
Do you like to use a bow?
Anything. I don't, because I don't have enough patience.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You climb into the combine. What music you putting in? What's playing inside that sucker as you're working your acreage?
Absolutely. Well, it all depends on what time of day it is. I mean, you want to start off with like country and stuff because you're excited. You start farming, then you go through a few swells throughout the day. Maybe you throw on some like 2000s alternative. Then you get to 70s, 80s rock or pop hits.
Wow.
And then you kind of get back to the new pop, kind of pop country. But so it all depends on the time of day. But I'm telling you, my phone has too many playlists from sitting in the tractor.
Makes sense.
You hear that, Lyle?
Favorite crop to farm?
Corn, for sure. For sure. I love just watching it grow and then harvesting corn. I mean, it doesn't happen often at my farm. It happens a lot more at my dad's fields, but when you're able to combine 200 bushel of corn, that's a surreal feeling watching it go into the grain tank.
Okay, and then last thing, football-wise, I know at Iowa, it's Whack-'em Wednesday, Tackle Tuesday, it's violent, it's physical, it's been that way for 3 decades. I know what North Dakota State's produced from an O-line standpoint and everything. Talk to me about the development piece, because it's hard at the NFL level to develop offensive linemen. Take me into how you developed from a 2-star whatever recruit from Pierre to the 18th pick in the draft. How'd that happen?
Yeah, I don't even think I was rated. I don't even think I had a star. So basically what it all starts with is, one, unwavering support from our administration, our coaches, our strength staff, the community up there. And 2, it's the backbone of NDSU, the strength staff. Coach Kramer and Coach Knapp are the best at what they do in developing what we call big athletes into offensive linemen. And 3, I mean, we started, I can't even remember when it started, but Bloody Tuesday, when it's full pads and we're going good on good most of the entire season. So when Tuesdays roll around, it gets bloody out there. Like I said, it's a unique experience up there at North Dakota State, and I'm forever grateful for it.
And just so I just want to make sure I hear right. It's Pierre, not Pierre. Like my whole life, you have to learn capitals, right? I always thought it was Pierre. It's Pierre?
Yeah, it's Pierre, yep.
So kind of one syllable.
Exactly.
Is that a South Dakota thing, or is that like a known thing?
I believe it's a South Dakota thing for sure. Okay. And then I want to say, I feel like I got to correct more people than not, but it's Pierre.
Now I know. I never heard that, so now I know. But it was at the farm where we heard you talking yesterday that you pick rocks as a punishment, which sounds awful. And hearing you describe how you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy sounds even worse. Could you just, for those of us that didn't grow up on a farm, who were maybe, accused by Pete Carroll of growing up in a silver spoon environment, what is it? What is the purpose, and what does it mean to pick rocks?
Yeah. So basically how it is, or what we had to do growing up, was anytime you got in trouble, anytime maybe we got in a fight with one of the brothers in the house or something, we'd somehow find our way up there and they'd drop us off at a field, and you'd go and you'd pick rocks. Because anytime if you disc it, plant it, combine it, if you hit a rock, it damages your equipment really badly. So you basically start at one corner and you just start walking down and back and finding rocks. And,
with like a sack?
No. Sometimes, I mean, it's probably not the safest thing to do, but you just kind of put the Ranger and let it idle right next to you, and it just goes straight. You just walk by it, pick up rocks and throw it in there and stuff. And
dude, how do you think you threw 90 miles an hour?
How big are the rocks? How big are the rocks?
They could be the size of your palm all the way up to, I think we just got one removed, and it wouldn't even fit in a loader bucket of a skid steer. So where we're at, we're farming some tough dirt, but man, it's a fun time.
I appreciate the idea that I would know how big the lower bucket of a skid steer is, but that's nice.
I know he's got to run. We got to run too. Last 2 quick things for me. So when you walked in the door from Pierre, South Dakota, right up there to North Dakota State, when you walked in the door, you were height, weight, what?
I was 6'4.5", 244 pounds, I believe.
Wow.
So you've gained 60 pounds.
Yep.
Yeah, I could do that.
Steaks and squats.
Steaks and squats, man.
And then last thing, what do you know about this beautiful place that you're going to fly into? When I say Seattle, Washington, Seattle Seahawks, what does Grey Zabel know about this place?
Man, I'm excited to get to know more, but the one thing I do know is I think I can hear the fans in the stadium, the 12s, cheering every single Sunday from Pierre, South Dakota. They're so loud. So I'm super excited to be a part of the organization and play for one of the best fan bases in the entire world.
Well, I'll just say this. I know sometimes they don't let offensive linemen talk to the media, right? There's little fines and stuff.
Little code.
I hope somebody decides to break that, because this is a blast. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit. Clearly, you're comfortable in this environment. We can't wait to see you out in the football field as well, and see over the next 2 days who the Seahawks choose to put there with you. So thanks so much. Congratulations. Years of hard work. It pays off, and it's got to be a really incredible feeling.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. Straight from Pierre, South Dakota, Brock. Now.